Yeah, welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back to Ironclad RC. Got the 120 scale mini hydroplane kit back on the block. This is the 120 scale Atlas van lines mini hydroplane. All right, you could build this hydroplane to mimic the U7, the U25 pay and pack, the Miss USA, U95 turbine, the Miss Madison, Circus, Design 360, Squire Shop. This is a rare kit. You see 1/16 scale wood kits all the time. This is 120 scale, a little smaller. Bad to the bone though. Big things come in little packages, huh? Yeah, we got the skeletal. You know, the bulkheads installed, the stringers installed. I did make a little boo-boo, all right? I forgot to put my doubler on behind the sponson end, okay? The end of the sponson. I should have put this doubler in first and then glued my nuts in, my nut plate in. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting out that nut plate because I don't want to mess up the boat trying to cut this nut plate off. It's not that serious. So, you know, I could have taken my flush cut saw here. You know, I got a couple of pretty nice saws. I could flush cut that guy right off. But I'm clumsy and I break stuff, you know. Like I broke this guy right here off. This little plate right here, this little piece. And I glued it back on. So I don't want to break anything off, okay? So I actually started cutting out the doubler so I can recess that nut plate onto the doubler, all right? I hope I'm doing this right. So that's what I'm doing, all right? That's the doubler. It goes right on the back of it, okay? I should have glued the nut plate onto this, I think. Like I said, this is my first wood kit build, you guys. This is my first wood kit build. And I'm only human. I'm only human. I make mistakes just like anybody else. So this is what I'm going to do. I've already started. I'm going with it, all right? And then I'll glue that on whenever it tells me to. But pretty sure that will work, all right? The doubler's just so if we hit something with a turn fin, it don't rip the whole damn back of the sponson off. And this, once it's glued into place, nice and secure, it should hold that nut plate onto the backer and everything will be legit. All right, the only thing that's going to be different is my nut plate won't be sticking off the inside of the sponson quite as far. So, but I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that's a problem, you know. And I'm using my hobby knife just to slowly get the right shape because I want it to fit tight. I don't want no gap in it. I want it to fit tight in there, you know, so whenever I glue it in, it's going to act as a doubler. It's going to strengthen it all up. All right. I hope that works. I hope it works. I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably like, oh man, what the what? But I know a few of you guys are probably like, well, that makes sense. That makes sense, Big B. Huh. I guess it's your boat. You can do what you want to with it, Big B. You know. So that's what I'm doing. We're going to ironclad the shit out of this boat. I'm going to ironclad the shit out of it. That's what I'm going to do. Huh. Yeah. Alright. I figured I'd mess up more things trying to cut this off than what it's worth, you know? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, those nut plates, the nut plates, they throw me off. They threw me off. Those nut plates threw me for a loop. Alright, let's see. A little bit off of that side, a little bit off of this side. And I think we'll be in good shape. We'll be in some good shape. Yeah, I hope, you know, some of those little tricks I told you about in the first episode, how to get warps out of wood, I hope that helps you guys out. Like, I'm including everything, you guys. I'm not going to leave anything out. You know, my mistakes, the good, the bad, that's what building a boat's all about. You know, I mean, I doubt there's very few people out there that build a scale boat, a real boat, one-to-one boat builders. I worked in boat yards half my life. My dad was a mechanic. There's very few days that go 100% as planned. You know what I'm saying? Architects building buildings, you know, that, I mean, shit happens. You got to go back and you got to figure something out. You got to, you know, you got to jack leg it sometimes. Huh? Maybe I should call this my channel Jack Leg RC. Yeah, she's getting there. All right, she's getting there. Check it out, huh? Look at there. Boom, huh? Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah, I did this on purpose, y'all. I did it on purpose because I'm lightening the boat up. Super light. All right? Super light. All right, so I think that'll work. I think that'll work. What do you think? What do you think? I'm a ciphernologist. I'll cipher something out, son. I might get me something to sit my boat in so it's not, you know. Yeah. So I grabbed one of my boat racks, all right? It's just a couple pieces of blocks of foam with some wooden dowels in it, glued into place with a t-shirt on top. Simple, simple. I use this for all my boats. My boat rack, my boat stand. So we got the control plate here, okay? It's got to go on the aft bottom of the boat, all right? Bottom of the boat. That's the right side up, that's the bottom. But right up to the transom here, all right? You want to make sure that you got any residual glue out of the cracks where you glued up the bulkheads to your stringer, all right? Make sure those are cleaned up. Also, make sure your little tabs right here where you pop these bulkheads out of the parch tree, make sure those are cleaned up so you get a nice flat surface. This control plate is going to actually serve many different purposes, really. It's going to make sure that the boat is lined up and true, straight, you know, straight and not crooked. You want to make sure before you glue it up that it's 90 degrees, all right, both sides. All right, you want to make sure that it's sitting on the back of your transom. All right, it's got some overhang right here, so you're going to need to use a straight edge on this control plate when you're gluing it up. All right, make sure it's supported. Make sure that the control plate is not at an angle. You don't want it to be drooping like that. It's got to be right, you guys. This right here will set the deck, basically, so to speak, you know. So make sure it's right. Take your time on this part. I've been looking at it for about 30-45 minutes. Well, 99% planning, 1% glue up, you know. Plan. So that's what I'm doing. If you don't plan, read ahead in directions, that's what happens. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this in. All right. This thin CA right here, it's great if you want to glue something in place without picking the piece up. Okay, you can just use that thin. Like right now, I'm going to put this straight edge on there. We're not supported right here, so I'm going to use that thin, and it's gonna get down in all those little nooks and crannies while I make sure this is lined up. So I'm holding it in place. Okay, got it. The straight edge on the bottom of the bulkheads here. Make sure she's right. All right. Ooh, shit, boy, she's looking good, son. All right, I'm just gonna put a little drop on the other side, just like we did the first part there. Put my straight edge on. Okay. A little drop will do. All right, putting some pressure on this part that's not supported. A little drop there in case you get it wrong. Okay, everything looks flat. All right, everything looks flat, so I'm gonna go down with a bead. Everything looks good. Looks good. Let's go down with another. Looks good. Now we can go down the bottom of the bulkhead with this thin. All right, that's gonna lock that into place. You don't have to pull the pieces off with this thin. It's really nice. So we're on number 6. On number 6, we're getting somewhere now. So let's take these tunnel strips off the balsa parch tree. Yeah. All right, they're gonna go somewhere in that neighborhood right there. Okay. All right. Alright, now we've got to make 4 nose pieces. Alright, and pretty sure that's these guys right here. They're very small and fragile. The tunnel strips in place. Make sure your notch, the large long notch is in the back, the small notch is up front. And you're going to have to take those little tabs off the bulkhead right here so you could fit your your tunnel strips in place. Okay, once you get your tunnel strips in place, which is what we're about to do, we got to make sure it butts right up against the control plate right there. Alright, I'm going to try to make mine flush as I possibly can. That's where this thin CA comes in handy. Alright, and I'm just going to tack it for right now. I'm literally just going to put a drop just in case something's not right, you know? Push it up flush, butt it right up against it. Alright, and then I'm just gonna tack it here, and I'm probably just gonna tack it like right here on this stringer just for the time being. Okay, maybe one right here. Why haven't I built a wood kit sooner? Oh man, I've been missing out, you guys. I love building boats. You know, I like to build them from the ground up. You know, get a hull and build them from the ground up. Build them how I want to build them. Once you get the hang of one of these kits, man, you can really like, you know, get a second one or whatnot, and build it how you want to build it. You know, use the kit bones. You know, second time around, kind of see what you want to do different. You know, try different things out, try different approach angles out. It's really cool, man. This is really cool, man. I really appreciate it, man. This is awesome. I'm loving this. I'm just tacking them in place here. I'm not going crazy with the glue in case I got something wrong. Holding them down, and that's really gonna like tighten everything up, keep it from flexing back and forth, you know. Right, look notches right here from your forward bulkhead. All right, there's little notches as a reference point to make sure you got your tunnel bottoms lined up correctly. Also, like I said, use the straight edge, you know. So here goes nothing. The directions actually calls for the two stacked on top of each other to be put in first, but to be honest with you, I think I'm going to put the one on the inside of the boat in first. Just glue that to the tunnel strip like so. I'm just going to kind of notch it here. I mean, just a little tack on each one, not tacking it onto the actual stringer, not attaching it to the actual stringer itself, but just to the tunnel strip. Make sure it's flush. Alright. Let's see, did I do it on the right side? I sure hope I did. Okay, that's on the top side. Alright, inside of the boat. They're still kind of hanging free. Alright. Right on that corner. In case I got to bust it loose, I'll just bust the corner off. Just like that. That's why I did that, so I could bust that corner loose. There we go. Do the same thing on this side, just a little tack. Alright, now let's check it with our bulkhead notches. Okay. See how I got them both lined up? We did all the technical stuff with the ruler, you know, making sure that it's flat. All right, but sometimes you just gotta freaking pick your boat up and eye it, you know, eye it. Just eye right down. Just look right down the bottom of the boat and eye that bad boy. You know, you can use a ruler all you want. You know, sometimes you just gotta eye it. Sometimes you can just eye it, and you know, once you've done all the proper measurements and taken every precaution possible, look down that bad boy. Make sure she's straight. You know, make sure she's straight as an arrow, not crooked. You know. All right, so we've got that in place. We got our first nose piece in place. Sorry, this video is going to be long, you guys. It's going to be long. This is a time-consuming process. With this front one, I cut a piece of birch into a matching nose piece. All right, I cut a piece of birch, and instead of putting balsa, I put a piece of birch, and then sandwiched the birch with a piece of balsa. All right. There wasn't a bulkhead up here, and I figured that piece of birch would give me a little bit more structure than just a piece of balsa wood. Alright, give me a little bit more structure up here, because this is an active piece of the boat, active area of the boat, and it has a lot of stress on it. You see the birch and then balsas on the top side. Alright, just give you a little bit more rigidity up there, and something to glue the top pieces onto once it comes time to skin the boat, you know. A little piece of 80, you know, and then just finished it off, you know. All right, knocked some of the glue off, the stagnant glue that was on there. All right, and now I need to, since I'm done with this tunnel strip, I need to go through and boom, all right, just kind of hit it with the CA all the way down, right on the bulkheads. It's all finished up, everything's in place. She's straight as an arrow, you guys. So now you can go through and glue it. All right, so I'll do that off camera. Now we're going to start with the sump standoffs. All right, the sump is basically a secondary ride surface, I guess, for the takeoff of the boat, I'm pretty sure. All right, see this? Sorry about the glare. Sorry about that glare. See right here? See how you got the sump standoffs there, and then your sump bottom will glue on top, which is this guy here. Okay, this is the grain patterns cross for this. This is the forward sump bottom, I think, and that will actually give you a nice bend. Okay, so make sure you got the right piece, because there's a few pieces this size that look the same. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this sump bottom in. All right, you need it says this, you know, I guess basically split the difference with this front notch and the back notch there. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. Get it lined up with the bulkheads here, right here and here. All right, and I think it should be straight up and down. It's my first kit, so I love it. This is me right here. You guys will probably see another kit build on the channel, whether it's a hydroplane or monohull or catamaran. You guys will see another kit build, I guarantee you that, because this right here is fun. Like, I'm enjoying this. This thing's the bee's knees, son. And she's, look at that, she ain't got no flex now, boy. You gotta make sure you get this thing on point. You know, look at that. Oh my God. Oh man, it's nice. Woo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got the standoffs here. It's like the drive shaft slit. I guess they've got that laser cut just to kind of mark where the drive shaft will be coming out of the boat. So make sure that's positioned to the right of the boat, looking at it from the top side. You got me? So we're going to flip it, and then we're going to flip this guy. Okay? And that's going to be glued in right on top of those sump standoffs we just glued into the boat. Alright? Just like that. Flip it back over, make sure it's on the right. The slit. Just double check. And then we're going to glue this in. Alright, that's basically a ride surface. Like I said, that helps get the boat up on plane a little bit quicker. Okay? You can play around with this the AOA, the angle of attack, on this center sump, all right, and get a different takeoff characteristic with like more of an angle is going to give you more takeoff, less angle, a little bit slower takeoff. Okay, so I'm gonna glue it in place just like we have everything else. I'll probably start back here where this overhang is, kind of tack this in place first, and then we'll work that bend. One corner, push it right up to that control plate here, butt it right up as hard as you can. Okay, nice transition. Man, I'm gonna be familiar with all these terms, man. I should have built a boat a long time ago from a kit. Oh man, I like building boats from scratch, you know, just my own design. But this right here, this is cool. This is too cool, man. All right, once that's tacked in place, we'll just kind of, that's the nice thing about this thin, you can just push your piece down and glue it right up. Alright, I got a little gap right there from where I was trying to file that area. Alright. So again, I'm going to take a little piece of wood like we did earlier, and I'm going to sand it. Get me a little pile of dust. Alright, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on that little gap I got right here. Put a little bit of that wood shavings in there, the sand and dust. Alright, now I can sand it. Boom. Alright, nice. And that's why we put the nose strips up here, so that this forward sump bottom will fit right in there. Alright, I think I might need to trim mine up just a smidge. Just a smidge. It actually calls for that in the directions. So on these sump walls, the sump sides, standoffs, just going to try to get us a nice transition for this sump bottom to sit on. Alright, and you want it to fit in that little crevice right there. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so I got the forward sump bottom on and the aft sump bottom with the slit. Alright, I just trimmed up a little bit off the front there and got it to fit perfect. Alright, see, that's the little ride surface there. Alright, so we got a 1/4 by 1/16 of an inch basswood strip that I've sanded a bevel. Actually, I just hobby knifed a bevel into it. It's going to go right here up against the nose piece, and it's going to go right on each bulkhead and make yourself a nice pretty bend. Okay, that's going to set the top deck, give you something to glue to. Alright, strengthen the boat up at the same time. I had to actually use my little hobby file and just file a little bit off of each bulkhead. Alright, and I did it on the same side all the way up on both sides. Alright, so that you don't put little indentions in your piece of wood here. Alright, so we're gonna butt it up to that and glue it in place. Okay. Boom. Huh. She's looking good, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a video. You know, I'm kind of at a stopping point here. I'm probably gonna start skinning the top side and the sponsons in the next few steps. All right, we got the bottom tunnel skinned. All right, we got the sump bottom set. All right, everything's nice and straight, square. Got everything. I went through and tacked everything in with the thin. I also used the thick in a couple of little areas where I had a gap, which is my own fault from just not paying attention to that one, the sump bottom whenever I glued it in. Right there, you see that? I was trying to sand it after I had actually glued up the sump bottom. So I used some of this and some wood shavings, and I actually used some baking powder up here because I had loaded it up with too much glue and it was taking forever to dry, so I just put a little sprinkle of this on there and it like instantly cured it out. Whoa. Man, this thing's awesome. I'm gonna trim these up once it's done drying. I want to make sure I got my bend right, you know, before I cut it off. You know, I might need to rebend it or something, I don't know, but yeah, she's looking really good, you guys. Nice and flat. All right, this thing's gonna run true. She's gonna run true, you guys. Looking good, looking good. We gotta take these guys here out. All right, probably glued them in, so it's probably gonna be a pain in the butt for me. I guess if I had to make a recommendation, I would not put so much glue on this area here, so you don't glue this piece in. All right, that's why it's laser cut, so it makes it easy to get out. I went a little crazy with the glue right there, so that's going to take me a few minutes to get out. So I'll see you next time. I'll see you next time. Let me quit jacking my jaws here. Let me quit jacking my jaws. Thanks for watching this 1/20th Atlas Vans build series. Still hadn't decided on what we're going to build it, the scheme's going to be. Miss Madison's a nice looking one too. Circus is nice, but it's complicated in design. We'll see you next time.